You know, I was wondering if there would be legs on the Ragnaros model, because you know in the second raid in World of Warcraft, he like comes out and he has legs.
I did not know he has legs.
Yeah, it looks really weird.
It's really weird.
So we knew this was the first Mythic skin we were gonna make, and so there was quite a lot of time being put into developing what it would be. Ragnaros has this big supernatural presence, and he takes up so much space. And so I wanted to experiment with concepts where he kind of took over the tray and the board almost. You see his head talking to you, animating like he's part of the board. But then when he attacks, he like pops out of the board and the whole model of him is there and he's like swinging his hammer at the minions.
You know, knowing he's essentially a fire tornado, I wanted to give him a sort of twist when he comes out of the portrait. He'll just do his regular strike, and when he goes back in, he twists back down the same way, kind of invoking that tornado swirly theme, I guess.
For the Ragnaros' victory and defeat animations, the Mythic skin provided a really cool opportunity to kind of bring that kind of cosmetic flair that we haven't done before in standard Hearthstone at least. And I was doing a lot of research into Ragnaros from Heroes of the Storm, and I noticed one of his ultimate abilities is he would summon this giant lava wave. And I thought that would be super cool to kind of make a giant wave that completely incinerates the opponents. And then sort of for the defeat strike, I was thinking back to like the raid, Ragnaros, he kind of like burns and crumples away into like ash. I was able to kind of play around with that and deliver that in the final animation where he's like kind of panicking for a little bit and it's building up this anticipation into this very big melt away moment for his character. And then it's, as the opponent, you're like, I did it, I took down Ragnaros.
With Ragnaros, we really pushed a lot with what we could do in Hearthstone. We wanted to spawn a full big 3D character on the board and still look good on PC and mobile. That was, you know, a big challenge.
I think for a concept, what we really pushed was the fact that Ragnaros had his own board corners. You know, Hearthstone's been around for a long time, and we have probably like 30 game boards out there. For a hero to have their own board corners and for them to work with every single existing Hearthstone board out there and not to break anything, I was like, there's no way this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
But you know, we have an amazing 3D team, tech team, engineering team, and it's looking really good with every single board that we have out there. You know, so many people touch this product, but in the end, it feels like it's really cohesive, and you know, the 2D works so well with the 3D and the 3D works so well with the effects. It was like really watching him come to life.
When our VFX team gets their hands on it and they had all the extra VFX, you know, like I think there's a nice little fire trail on the hammer as it goes out and back in, and you just see those little trailing fire embers and smoke. It just adds that little bit of polish, and it's just so awesome to see.
Yeah, I think it really started coming to life for me when I started hearing like the sound effects get added to all our stuff. Because when we're creating our effects, we always play like the sound effects in our head of like, it's gonna melt away the frame. And to hear sound not only take that base layer of what I initially thought, but also like add so much more flair and epicness to the final result. It feels really, really cool and satisfying, and I think it's kind of like one of those things that reminds me of, whoa, we worked on something really, really epic here.
It's like we've been cooking this recipe for 7 months or whatever, and
Add the final garnish to the top
yeah,
of it.
and then you get a dish at the end, a fiery, spicy dish.
A hot soup.
Red hot!